Okay, I'm going to keep going on this. So the last thing I read was this. You should continue on an 8 to 12 degree climb angle until reaching 400 knots airspeed. At this point, you may increase the rate of climb. A climb angle of 30 to 40 degrees is ideal. Afterburner will also increase your climb rate. Don't allow your airspeed to fall under 125 knots. There are 4 ways to increase your airspeed. Increase throttle, light the afterburner, dive, or reduce the rate of climb. Moving into position and finding the target. Actually, I should write that down. So climb at 8 to 12 degrees until reach 400 knots. Then climb at 30 to 40 degrees. Okay. So climb to an altitude of 25,000 feet. Well, I'm already at 45,000 feet. So let me go down. What was the way to? Okay. 72% military power. Okay, I'm just trying to. So I'm reading the next section. Moving into position and finding the target. Climb to an altitude of 25,000 feet using a 30-degree climb at 450 knots. Actually, I think I'm going to restart it and end mission. I'm going to restart it and try to climb properly. Okay, so I see that RV light on the right side of the HUD. I think that's RV. To the right of the HUD, and I don't know what that means. But, okay, so going to increase the power. So I'm supposed to climb at 100% military power. So now I'm going to climb 8 to 12 degrees until I reach 400 knots, then 30 to 40 degrees, using a 30-degree climb at 450 knots. Okay, so I think the idea is decrease power when I reach 400 to 450 knots. I think that's the idea. Okay, so watching my airspeed. When I reach 150, I go up to this, and now I'm getting to 400 knots, and I'm decreasing power to 70, and I'm increasing my angle of attack to 30 to 40 degrees. And now I'm okay, so my power looks to be at okay, now when I get to 25,000 feet, I'm going to decrease the... It still feels like the game's running fast, but I don't know. Okay, 25,000 feet. 72% military power. Let's look around. Okay. 25,000 feet. So roughly what the manual says. The most trustworthy navigational aid you have is your own pair of eyes. As you fly, look around at the different views. Try to identify natural and man-made landmarks such as mountain ranges, bridges, lakes, and buildings. Okay. I'm not at 450 knots. Maybe I should increase speed for a bit. Yeah, let's increase. Just increasing the engine power. Yeah, it's interesting that I have to be... Yeah, if I decrease the power, my speed comes down. Your engine should be at 72% RPM. Well, this manual is also, I think, for a different version of the game, so that might be related. Anyway, so invoke the map mode on your combined map electronic display, COMED, by pressing the C key. Okay. The radar mode will be replaced with a 2D reduced map of the Falcon landscape. Note your current position on the map, flashing white square, in relation to those objects around you. After you've played Falcon for a while, you'll become familiar enough with the landscape to identify where you are without using the COMED. This will be a very important skill, especially if your navigation system is damaged during combat. Since you took off from runway number 36, your plane should be heading due north. Use your compass on the left view panel, or check your heading scale on the HUD. So if I come over here, and I press number 4, I think? No. Yeah, number 4. There's the compass, and I'm heading north. Sure. Okay. Let's see this. Level off at 25,000 feet and 25,000 feet and 72% military RPM. Okay. Okay, so short. Oh no, I have to check the right side. Okay. Slowly bank your F-16 to the right until the plane is at a 45 to 50 degree angle. The F-16 should begin a nice easy turn at this bank angle. The steeper the bank, the faster the turn. Speed also affects your rate of turning. It's just like driving a car. The faster you travel, the wider your turn radius. Traveling at 450 knots, the turn radius will be a little over a mile, 6,288 feet to be exact. But at 900 knots, your turn radius is a staggering 5 miles. Okay, interesting. Let me write that down. Where am I? Here. The faster you're going, the bigger your turn radius. Okay. So let's switch over here. Actually, let me just do one thing. Okay, so that's okay. Okay, so let's do that turn. So I'm going to unpause, switch to front view with number 3, and my bank angle. Where does it show my bank angle? I don't think it does. I think I just used the angle of that line going through the center of the HUD. Okay, so let's read what the manual says. You'll need to fly toward a new heading of 135 degrees, 135 degrees, halfway between 13 and 14 on the heading scale to intercept the targets. Ease out of the roll once you've achieved the new heading. Take a look at the map and outside the front view. You should be heading directly toward the buildings. Okay. Let's see. There's no rudder for minor adjustments. Okay. Okay. Air-to-ground missiles. The AGM-65B missile is designed to be visually locked onto a ground target by the pilot. In the front end of each Maverick missile is a TV camera with a zoom lens. The television image is fed to the pilot through the ComEd. This allows you to acquire your target electronically from distances beyond visual range. Okay. Switch your HUD into air-to-ground mode by pressing the backspace or close parentheses key. Keep pressing backspace until the M65 HUD mode indicator appears in the bottom left corner of the HUD. Okay. Backspace. M65. There we go. Also, make sure your radar is on with R and that the radar screen, rather than the area map, is showing on the ComEd. Press C. Okay. Okay, so I think if it's showing APG 66 in the bottom left, that means it's on. Here's an overview of the upcoming missile attempt. Once you've visually acquired what looks like your target, one of the three buildings, fly directly toward it. Look down at the radar screen. You may be able to see the target here before you can actually accurately out the cockpit. You may be able to see the target here before you can see it accurately out the cockpit. As you move closer to your target, maneuver the Falcon so that the crosshairs in the middle of the HUD and the crosshairs in the middle of the radar screen are lined up on the target. Press the spacebar to pickle or target designate the target. Okay, I'll write that down. Air to ground, spacebar to pickle, target designate. Okay. Turn on radar and radar screen. Radar screen. Okay. Switch to AGM 65. Backspace. Well, actually, say line up the target in the middle of the HUD. Okay. So, whoops, oh dear, what happened? Okay, here we go. I just got to the bathroom. Okay. Okay, so next is to find the target on the radar. I'm at 300 knots. That's good. 20. I want to go up a bit. Up to 25,000. Okay. I'm on the right heading. What's the X's? What are the X's? It's like close to south of me. Maybe I'm looking the wrong way. What's that? That's the airport. Oh, what's that? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Not seeing them on radar, though. Spacebar? Oh, why is the... Wait. Hold on. Switch your HUD into air-to-ground mode by Backspace. Oh, no. Yeah. Make sure your radar is on. Is that ground radar, or... I think that's air. Oh. No. No, 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 no. I don't know why that didn't work. Okay, I'm at 25,000. Okay, those are the buildings. That's the hole from my missile. I don't know. Maneuver the Falcon so that the crosshairs in the middle of the HUD are lined up on the target. To me, that's saying you have to aim directly at the target. You have to point your aircraft directly at the target. The HUD discrete will change from arm to lock, and the target designator, a square, will appear over the target. Note, if the target designator isn't aligned directly over the target, clear the pickle by pressing the Clear AG target lock key X and try again. Okay. Watch for the in-range discrete. In-range discrete, okay. When it appears, press the space bar again and watch the Maverick head for the target. Okay. So X to clear a target. So you're not aim at the target in the middle of the HUD. Spacebar to launch the missile. Okay, let's try this again. So we're gonna look behind us. I'll try this again. I don't know why it told me to. I want to go to 90. Okay. It's interesting. I can see the explosion more than I can see the buildings. I don't know why it told me to switch the radar on. That was confusing, because that's not necessary, as far as I can tell. Yeah, I can't see the building. Still don't see the building. Can't see the building, and I'm like, okay, still can't see it. There we go. Okay. No, that's not right. I want to go to 2.7. Okay, so we're just going, turning around. Yeah, so now I understand what they mean by the view distance being an issue. Okay, so just going back a bit. And I'm going to turn again. Back to 0, 9. Yep. It's, I mean, let's check this. Still missed. How am I supposed to do this? Maybe I'm supposed to get closer? But I don't want to dive directly at it. Maybe I'm supposed to just get closer. Okay, this is showing him at 3,000 feet. I think the manual is wrong. Because here it's saying climb to 25,000 feet, but in this picture, it's showing the pilot at 3,000 feet. And also the elevation isn't the same. And it's showing him at 600 knots. Yeah. And also he's facing to the west. Okay, let's turn around. Yeah, I think the manual is wrong. Whoa. Whoa. Fly directly toward it. But maybe what that means is like fly down to it. Yeah. Once you've visually acquired what looks like your target, fly directly toward it. So they don't mean just like horizontally, they mean vertically as well. Look down at the radar screen. You may be able to see the target here before you can see it accurately on the cockpit. Okay. Let's try that. Okay, I think I'm starting to get the idea. Maybe let's try even decreasing. Well, I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, god damn it. The controls are so inconsistent. Come on. Come on. Let's try this. Okay. Spacebar. Still at 14,000 feet. Let's see what that did. Did I get it? I think I got it that time. I think I got it that time. Okay. I get how to do this. Okay, I get how to do this. So we're gonna fly back up to 25,000 feet. So because it's so hard to control the okay, because it's so hard to make fine adjustments, you really just want to line it up horizontally on the radar and then let it fall down into your field of into the center of the radar. Okay, let's decrease the speed. Okay, so we got one of them. Where's the other one? There it is. Okay, so I'm gonna bank left, decrease speed a bit, bank left, oh wait, bank right, sorry. Okay, bank right. Nope. Problem is that the controls are so inconsistent. Like, sometimes you'll press it and it'll 20,000 feet. Right. Did I get it? Can't see a damn thing. Okay, back up at 25,000. Decrease the nose. 6. I got it. Okay, I got the hang of this. Yeah, I got the hang of this. Okay, so now let's... Oh, why is that RV? Do I have... Oh, I have my gear up? Okay. I can increase my speed a bit, get some distance. Okay. Now I can turn. I'm still too high. That's fine. I'll fix that. Okay. Okay, there's the other one. So I'm gonna... God damn it. Okay, let's try that. God damn. It's so infuriating. Oh, and I pressed the wrong button. Okay. Okay, let's turn. Okay, so it should be around there somewhere. Just wait for it to come into view. Oh, shit. There it is. Okay. I think I got it on the... God damn. Yeah, I got it. Finally. Okay, and that time I saw it. Whoa, hold up. Yeah, got it. Okay. Understand. I understand how to do this. Okay, back up at 25,000. 400 knots. Okay, let's pause. Okay, got it. Pull back on your stick to execute a climb so as to clear the debris area and avoid crashing into the ground. It'll take a few seconds for your missile to reach the target and detonate. If you struck the target, the building image will appear damaged. Otherwise, you'll see a crater in the ground. Okay. When you try to pull up into a climb at upper ranks, you're going to need all the power you can muster to avoid stalling. Therefore, practice kicking in the afterburner and rev the engine to 100% power. Remember, at first lieutenant rank, you really don't crash even if you hit the ground. You're able to get back into the air. Note the side arrows warning you to pull up. I guess that's those arrows. Okay. I was not able to get afterburner working last time. Oh, there we go. So that's A, B. Oh, okay, so it's the symbol on the bottom in the bottom right of the HUD. Oh, it's interesting. I have the afterburner on, but it doesn't increase my speed. Oh, it only increases it a little bit. So I have to both press that and I have to increase the military power to 100%. Okay. Got it. Okay, so turn that off. I wonder how fast I can get. Okay, I'm getting up to a 1200 knots. And if I turn it off, I'm brought to 1100 knots. So it's not a huge difference. Not a huge difference. Okay. Okay. Pause. Let's see. Okay, so let me write this down. Okay. 25,000 feet. 400 knots. Or let's say 300 to 400 knots. Okay. Okay. It's tempting to go back and get a visual confirmation of hitting the target. At first lieutenant rank, this isn't a problem. However, at higher ranks, it can be extremely dangerous. You give the enemy more time to get a bearing on your position. Let intelligence confirm your hits and tell you about them after your mission is completed. Good pilots don't fret about merits and medals. They just want to return their rented planes in one piece to the crew chief. Cool. Okay, landing. Getting into the proper frame of mind. Remember, the mission isn't over until your bird is on the ground. Landing takes skilled flying, a steady hand, and a calm state of mind. The worst thing you can do is panic and try to slam your plane onto the ground. A good landing feels as if your plane has floated down onto the runway. Never be afraid to abort a landing and come around for another try. It's better to be a little embarrassed than end up as a picture on the wall of an airfield cantina. Since First Lieutenant rank doesn't allow your plane to crash, use this level to practice your landing skills. At upper ranks, being able to shoot up things is only part of being a complete pilot. Setting up the landing. Half the process is getting your plane into approach position. You're going to land on runway number 9, approaching from the west. It's important that you give yourself plenty of airspace for the approach. If it isn't already on, switch to map mode on the COMED screen. C key. Okay, so I'm pressing C. I am south of the runway, I believe. No. Yeah, that's the runway there. $40,000 feet. Okay. Fly to the position indicated in the diagram below and turn to a heading of 90 degrees at an altitude of 37,000 feet. Approach from here. Yeah, I don't see that on my map. I see that vertical road. Don't see this. Reduce your speed by throttling down with the minus key to about 300 knots. Okay. 37,000 feet. That seems very high for an approach. Okay, well I'm going to increase my speed just to get to the approach position more quickly. And let's decrease my pointed down, and my altitude is still going up. But it looks like it's about the same distance from the airport to this line, and then another half. So I'll just eyeball it. Although I think that's enemy territory, or are those mountains? Oh, I think those are mountains. Okay. So I'm just going to eyeball it. The following illustration points out all the important components of your landing ILS head-up display, AOA indexer, and AOA indicator. Glide slope deviation scale, okay. Localizer deviation scale, flight path ladder, NWS system landing gear status, altitude, ILS HUD mode, AOA indexer, okay, AOA indicator, instrument landing system HUD mode. From here, you can start a downward approach. Switch on your instrument landing system HUD mode by pressing the F7 key. Okay, so I'll start from this corner of where the road turns. The whole idea behind the ILS is that an imaginary beam is projected from the runway. Okay, let's decrease the power. 32. Oh, someone's coming for me. Okay, I'm at 300 knots. Okay. And I'm going to press F7. And let's pause. Okay. We suggest that you press the pause key here and read about the landing procedure before continuing. The ILS is designed to assist a pilot in making a smooth landing. The whole idea behind the ILS is that an imaginary beam is projected from the runway. A pilot must ride down the beam to make a perfect approach. Runways have to be specially equipped to handle ILS landings. In Falcon, only runway number 9 is set up to handle ILS landings. Okay, that's good to know. Oops. Landings. Only runway 9 is set up for ILS landings. Okay, 37,000 feet, 300 knots. From road turn, say approach from the road turn to the west of runway 9. Okay. Next. The ILS HUD has two principal components, the glide slope deviation scale and the localizer deviation scale. The LD scale displays angle variance between the correct heading approach, 90 degrees in this case, and the angle between your current position and the runway. The further you are to the right, the further the GSD scale slides to the left, and vice versa. Okay, so I do see that on the HUD now. That's the localizer deviation scale. Okay. The glide slope deviation scale displays the angle offset between the beam and your intercept angle to the runway. The higher above the ILS beam you go, the lower the LD scale slides down the HUD, and vice versa. Okay. So basically, when the line is to the left, I have to go to the left, and then when the line is down, I have to go down. So I have to follow the intersection. To get in perfect position for landing, steer the plane toward the LD and GSD scales. This is called following the needle. If you are too high, the GSD scale will be below the center of the HUD. You should decrease your altitude until the GSD scale is in the center of the HUD. Okay? It's important to understand that, if you are too far left of the runway, the LD scale will be to the right of the HUD center. Bank your plane to the right so that the LD scale is in the center. A perfect approach angle will show the GSD and LD coming together so that the middle of each scale crosses at the center point of the HUD to form a perfect cross. It's important to understand that your heading has nothing to do with where the GSD and LD are placed on the HUD. The ILS only checks for deviation between the current intercept of the aircraft with the required approach angle. That's why you still need to monitor the heading scale during landing. The next example shows a pilot who failed to monitor his heading. For a brief moment, the ILS appeared to be perfectly aligned because the current aircraft position just happened to cross the ILS at the correct point. Notice how everything is aligned in the HUD, yet the heading is incorrect. Okay, so he's facing to the north. Continue your downward approach, making sure that the GSD and LD are kept in alignment. Use small movements to make course and altitude correction. Don't overcompensate. Once you've fallen below 5,000 feet, throttle back to about 68 RPM and reduce your airspeed to 125 to 150 knots. Okay. At 15,000 feet, reduce speed to 125 25 to 150 knots. Air brake with B. Okay. However, make sure your airspeed doesn't fall below 100 knots. At higher ranks, falling below 100 knots can result in a stall, followed by a funeral. At upper ranks, a correct angle of attack is extremely important to the success of your landing. A plane's angle of attack should lie between 8 and 13 degrees on the angle of attack indicator. Dropping airspeed will increase your angle of attack. Take a look at your angle of attack indexer on the left side of the HUD. If the top light is on, then you are coming in too steep and too slow. If the bottom light is on, then your airspeed is too fast and the angle of attack is too shallow. A center light indicates that your airspeed and angle of attack are perfect. You'll learn more later on angle of attack. Okay. So yeah, let's take it to 15,000, and then we'll get to. So we want to go to the left. Yeah. No, we want to go to the right. Okay, it's across. Why is it? I don't know. Maybe I'm still too high? I mean, still too low? Yeah, I think it's because I'm so far away. It's something like that. That's my guess. Right? If you're too high, it shows that. If you're too right. Right. Yeah. I think it's just that I'm so far away. I'm too far away, something like that. I'm at 50,000. How can I possibly be too low? Okay, I'm crossing the road now. Okay, I'm gonna go down to 37,000 because that's what they had told me. What? Okay. The heck? Did I just get killed? Oh, is that a bad guy? Okay, I'm still not at 37,000. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's like the ILS isn't working. How can I possibly not be on the right? Something's not right. Okay, I'm gonna go down. I should expect this to... Okay, yeah, it's coming down. Okay, so now I'm gonna slow down to... Oh, no, 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 no. Not that. Slow. And I just crashed into the ground. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so you have to... That's confusing. That's the way that indicator works is confusing. Because if the horizontal bar is to the left, you have to fly to the left. But if the vertical indicator is up, you don't fly up, you fly down. It's the opposite. So the two systems work in an opposite way, as far as I can tell. Okay, we're going to go back to... So we're at 15,000. We're going to go back over here. Let's try this again. Okay, there's the road. So let's decrease power to 70%. We're at 37,000 feet. Come on. Okay, let's turn. Oops. Okay. There's the airport. I'll keep it just in the corner of my vision. .300 knots. Okay, so it's looking like I'm on the correct. Okay. So I think I have to get up or no, down. I have to go down. I think. Yeah. Fly it down. I think at 15,000 feet you go down to 150 knots. Okay. Gosh, I'm still too high. Okay. 3,000, 2,000, 1. Okay. Am I like this is ridiculous. What the fuck? Oh my god. Cross? I mean, it's like this shouldn't be that difficult. It's just confusing more than anything. And it's laggy. Okay, I'm at 1,000 feet. Decreasing. Oops. Okay, I'm at the right speed. So I'm lowering my gear. Right, I'm at 500 feet. pause. So when you get below 4,000 feet, drop your landing gear by pressing the G key. Your NWS system landing gear status indicator, RY, oh, that's what that stands for, ready light should be illuminated, just like it was before raising the gear earlier upon takeoff. Check the left view to make sure all 3 wheel lights are lit. If not, you better prepare for a crash landing. Remember, upper ranks only. Here's a typical view at 125 feet. Okay, so that's 0, that's 500 feet. So that's one line, one small line up. I think yeah, that's where I am right now. At this point, it's important that you monitor your altitude, airspeed, GSD, and LD. Use throttle and air brakes to adjust your speed. If you're going too slow, turn off your air brakes and increase throttle, or drop your nose a little. Don't get in the habit of dropping below 8 degrees angle of attack. Oh boy, this is the tricky part. Okay. At 4,000 feet, what was it? 4,000 feet. Lower landing gear. RY to the right of the HUD stands for ready and refers to the landing gear. Okay. Check the left cockpit view to confirm all gear are down. Okay. As soon as you touch down, reduce throttle to less than 60% RPM. And apply air brakes. Flaps. And wheel brakes. Until you come to a complete stop. At this point, you may exit to an option menu by pressing the escape key. Select End Mission to collect any ribbons and merits that are due you. Click the mouse button on the mission results screen to see the Sierra Hotel display. Congratulations. After a little practice, you'll get the hang of flying your F-16 as well as firing at the practice buildings in the milk run. Click on the Sierra Hotel screen to get back to the duty roster. Okay. Yeah, so let's get this landing. I mean, I can't crash, so I won't really know if I'm doing this properly. I think I'm already on the ground. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, so we're going to do... How do I know if I'm on the ground or not? Flaps, brakes, wheel. Okay. Well, that was probably the jankiest landing I've ever experienced. But that's fine for now. That's fine for now. Okay. You can take different approaches from here to experience more of Falcon and progress in skill. Continue to perform the milk run or just fly around at higher ranks to become adept at controlling an F-16 with more realistic handling characteristics. Or try some of the other missions while remaining as a first lieutenant. Okay, so that might be something to try. Use the first lieutenant level as a training simulator to learn air combat maneuvers that can make or break your ability to survive dogfights at higher ranks. You can invoke a black box flight recorder that will replay flight sequences for you to analyze if you have a 1 megabyte system. See the chapter Air Combat Maneuvers. Okay. Now, do I want to do this next part now? Maybe I want to wait for that. This is all part of part 1. Yeah, that's all part 1. Okay, I think maybe I'll do that next time. Not quite now, because it's quite a bit. Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to try the landings on a higher difficulty level to see if I'm actually doing them right or not.